We are back in good old sunny Singapore, back for the final area, Central. And we are starting off hot here in Hong Lim Food Centre with yet another food war. This time between one Jiji Mian Jia on the left, $4.50 I queued for 25 minutes, and on the right, Cantonese Delights, also $4.50 but I queued 45 minutes. Same stakes as before, the loser will not get a rating. Last stretch of the best wanton mee, let's get it guys. I spent the last hour queuing. Forgive me for tapawing Cantonese Delights because I didn't want to be holding a plate while being in a queue. So to give them the advantage in this food war, I'm gonna let them go second. The second one always win. It's a plot thing. For $4.50 eh, 2 normal wontons, 2 fried wontons, a pretty good amount of char siu, pork lard at Hong Lim. Not bad at all. Is this the normal amount? Did she give me more? Because she did ask me, 你哪里来的? I don't know what to reply. 我 Jurong 来的. Anyway, yeah, welcome back to Singapore. It's nice to not do anything and the noodles are already so flavorful. Sweet, salty and umami, good noodle texture. Not tiak but firm. Try the wonton. A little bit of turnip inside, I think. Char siu. Basic air fry Friday level, I think. And then fried wonton. Okay. Now for Cantonese Delights. It came with this packet of sauce, and the noodles were completely dry. So I assumed that I just pour the whole thing in. Is it the traditional Cantonese way? Obviously not. We were there last week. If anything, Guangzhou style noodles and even the wontons are like your partner or baby making night. I can be whoever you want me to be. Stop! LJ, what? What? Yeah, Cantonese Delights. Too strong. Was I only supposed to put half the packet? Why didn't anybody tell me? Try the wonton. Oh, good bounce. Firm. Char siu. Thick cut, especially so for lean meat. And this humongous piece of lard. Very, very close. But the winner of today's food wars goes to Cantonese Delights. There is not one factor across the board that one is particularly better than the other. You talk about noodle texture, you talk about char siu, wonton, pork lard, how well the veggies are cooked. Very, very comparable. The only one that is very different is the seasoning. And if I may, Jiji's seasoning is for the younger palate. It's very tasty, it's very immediate, it's very pop. To phrase it generally, you get this very forward hit of umami, which actually kind of reminds me of Thai wonton noodles. Whereas Cantonese Delights, more old school if I may. A little light soy sauce, oyster sauce, XO sauce kind of variation. So yeah, if you find yourself having more of an older person's palate, I would recommend Cantonese Delights. But if you are more of the skibidi Reese crowd, then Jiji Mian Jia. I'm getting a bit of whiplash from how different Singapore wanton mee is. And for our next stop, we are going for something arguably even more Singaporean. So I'll see you guys there. We are now at Amoy. Let me tell you something. Promise not to be angry. Promise? A Noodle Story. Ref, do something. Listen, it has kan lao mian, it has wonton, and it has char siu. So technically, a wonton mee, even though it says Singapore style ramen on the menu. And for $12.80 in a hawker center, we get 2 humongous wontons, maybe the biggest in the series so far. Literally golf ball size. 1 fried wonton, also humongous. 2 deep fried prawns wrapped with noodles, char siu, and a ramen egg. It is expensive, but I have to say really good looking. We got custom spoons, we got custom trays, and all of the toppings. Sheesh. Let's get it. Wow, pretty starchy. I cannot seem to coax the noodle out. The taste is rather strong, between the ghee and the seasoning. Texture is pretty good. Let's try this humongous wonton. A ton of ingredients, very peppery. And then the fried wonton. Potato. Wow, this is good. This is a medium-sized prawn wrapped with strands of potato. And the outside tastes kind of like a Rosties, like fried potato. Not to mention the very interesting texture. This is good. And lastly, the char siu. Very usim. No matter where you look, right, there's so much care for the dish. Having their own tray and spoon should already start to tell the story. But you look at the toppings. The wontons, they are so generous with the ingredients. I'm quite convinced this is the biggest wonton so far. The potato prawn is so effortful. They actually have to go and spin out all the potato strands and then wrap the prawn and then deep fry. The garnish, the spring onions and I think chili have to be cut into thin slices, stored in cold water until it curls, just as a garnish, just as the topping, to make it look prettier. That would have been enough. But then they have the char siu and the ramen egg. Yes, it's very expensive, but what that buys is for the local chef to showcase whatever they are capable of. I know this is a very loaded conversation, like all the politics of how much should a hawker charge. You know, standard of living gets convoluted into that discussion for some reason. But from a very narrow point of view, keeping hawker prices low is like having all these great artists, but only giving them color pencils. And it emphasized the question, is it worth it more than ever? All the misses are very biased, but I have to say it. The first is that even though there's a lot of ingredients in the wonton, the textural impact is not as good as Hong Kong's. And I attribute it to the quality of the prawns. While the wonton is huge, right, a big part of that is all minced meat. If you really peel out the prawn, it's actually quite small, and I don't think they treat it with baking soda here. I don't feel like the snap was enhanced. The second point is that I'm not sure if it's coming back from Guangzhou and Hong Kong, but not just this bowl. The seasoning of all three bowls so far is very intense. It's like the volume is cranked up a little bit too loud. Like between the heat of the ghee and the sauces, I find myself recoiling a bit. The texture is good, mini tiap-tiap, but the taste, my tongue feels like it's gasping for air. And lastly, I know I said I won't mention this already, but at 12.80, I really don't want this soup. I know some of you say that, it's tradition, you're used to it by now. Wonton mee is not wonton mee without this soup, but I don't like it. The texture is good, but I have to mention quite a bit of starch. I think it should be quite obvious from the footage. That shiny layer in between strands. Still pretty tiak-tiak though. I'm having a considerable amount of self-doubt over how my palate changed since the trip. But there's only one way to clarify, and that is to eat more wonton mee. So, I'll see you guys at the third and final stop. We are now at Wing Wanton Mee at Empress Food Center, but it's closed. So instead I got myself a kopi-o and 2 芝麻球 from this stall. Damn, weekend kopi-o at a hawker center. I think still taking out CPF already. Now normally I will come back on another day. You guys who have been on the channel will know. But today is a special case. One, there are already 3 wonton mees in this video, so title is not a clickbait. And 2, it is really late in the series. Which leads to the one thing I want to talk about. One important factor in these videos is palate relatability. Those of you with similar palate as mine will find the videos very useful. And those of you who don't, hopefully you still find enough information for you to make your own judgment. But the thing now is, even I don't relate to my own palate. And the most obvious reason is that we have gone through so many wonton mees. This would be number... What's the count now? Anybody still has the count? This is episode 9 times 3 plus 2. Probably 30 plates of wonton mee in 5 different countries. Such that my palate from 2 months ago is so different from now. For example, things like the sauce noodles. I super love it pre-overseas arc. But now it's like, I don't know whether they're over-saucing it or whether it's me. And even things like just having minced meat in the wonton is perfectly fine. It's only not fine when you have 25 out of 30 wontons giving the same flavor profile. But if you're a normal person and you eat wonton mee every, once, twice a week, it's not an issue. So we're gonna learn from the experience. Having the same dish 40 times in the same series is probably not conducive. 40 times because we still have the members episode coming out this Friday, and then the last episode coming out next week, followed up by the finale. So for future series, I have to reduce the number. 1 plate I'll walk for the wanton mee, 2 plates I'll take a bus for the wanton mee, and 3 plates I'll go anywhere in Singapore for the wanton mee. And today's wanton mees get 2-2. Great wanton mees today. We had great value, we have great toppings, and very well sourced noodles. Although I'm not sure where I currently stand on that. I've also started moderation, and it's the part of the series now where you can guess which are the remaining wanton mees. I saved the more controversial ones for the members episode, so members do look out for that. But for now, that's all I have for you guys this time. I'll see you all in the next video.